If we are talking about freelance modeling and public auditions, then there's absolutely no pay. You cannot just show up at the photographer. What is he going to photograph, right? He wants some content, something going on. In the freelancing world, the whole stress is on the model. Commercial is where the money is, runway is where the exposure is.
That's going to be the caption of this video. So today I'm here with Nayana Vishva, experienced, established model, walking in New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, San Francisco, even Silicon Valley, which I didn't know it even had a fashion week.
Yeah.
And she's been published over 100 times, and she's working for major brands, and she's going to give us some insight about New York and LA and how to book jobs and what to expect when we go out there and the whole nine. So we have a whole audience here today. I think there's about 30 plus people in the room. So thank you for being here. I'm glad you guys were able to make it. I hope you guys are having a great time so far. You guys having a good time? All right. Perfect. So we're going to take some questions. But again, just for camera's purpose, can you introduce yourself and tell us about your experience so far?
Oh, hi guys. Yeah, I think I didn't introduce myself because I just came in and started off the class. This is Nayana. I have been a model in the Bay Area for the last 4 to 5 years, more than 4, less than 5. In my tenure as a model, I have been in the LA Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week for a couple of seasons, and a whole lot of Bay Area fashion shows that happens in San Francisco mostly. That's where the Bay Area fashion shows happen. And I have also been published a whole many number of times, and I have worked with some of the brands that work here off of the Bay Area. That's about my modeling, and I'm also an engineer. I work full time. I work at Intel. I'm an electrical engineer, and yeah, I did my master's from USC, University of Southern California in LA. That's where I met my husband. We were classmates. He's my husband. Back then we were classmates and lab partners, and he used to help me a lot, so I thought I'll have him as a husband.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you here. Thank you again for always tapping in. And we haven't really had a chance to work together yet.
Yeah, let's shoot sometime.
Yeah, we need to do that for sure. Hopefully, and then get published again.
Yes.
I'm trying to catch up to you.
Thank you, Chris, for having me here. I've been following Chris for all these years. He's not only the photography is amazing, but he's one of the very few people who is a model educator here in the Bay, because I see that really less. There are so many photographers, they do all these events, photography, but he's someone who is also doing the model education. That is something rare, and we need that here in the Bay. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But so, with that being said, like I get so many questions from aspiring models about not only being in shows, but mostly the biggest question is like how to find the opportunities. You know, so we just talked about this a little bit with our Model Society students prior to this class, and I was giving some insight about how to find like paid opportunities as well. So, in your experience, when do you start to actually see result monetarily?
Monetarily, I started seeing only after like 2 years as a freelancer. If you're lucky and get signed to an agency early on, then you're on the track for your financial to monetize this path. But if you are a freelancer like myself, I'm not with an agency. I freelance because I also have a full-time job, and it's not easy to have the full-time job and employed with an agency. It's complex. So freelance works for me. With freelancing, you need to have a lot of patience. For 1.5 to 2 years consecutively, you have to put a lot of effort and network a lot. Attend all the your local fashion shows, fashion events, and make a good name for yourself, get recognized, and that is when some of the creatives start to pull you in for whenever they come across a paid job. So it takes time. As a freelancer, it takes time. May not be, I said 2 years because when I started in now it's 2024, right? I started around COVID. So that COVID year was like no use. So it took me up to 2022, which is 2 years to start getting paid. But with today, with no COVID, 1.5 years should be good. But don't expect that, oh, I'll start this year in few months, in 3-4 months, oh, I'm not getting paid, so something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. It takes time.
And when you do book a job, who's hiring you for that? Because you do a lot of editorial, high fashion photos, and everybody loves doing high fashion regardless of the requirements.
Yeah.
But we know like generally commercial pays the most.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a high fashion shoot, is the designer paying you, the photographer, or is there someone else that gets involved?
So initially, all my high fashion shoots, I used to initiate it. I used to reach out to people, put the team together, coordinate. That used to take a lot
Talked about that.
It's the model who is pulling everyone in, and that takes a lot of time and energy. I mean, all the stress really falls down on the model in that case, because you're not just the model, you are the organizer of the shoot as well. But as you start to shine and make name, people call you, they book you, and pay-wise, the designer is the one who will mostly organize these shoots because they want to present their designs, they want to get their designs published. So the money or the bank, it's mostly the designer. So designer is the one, designer will reach out to me saying, hey, I have a photographer, I have makeup artist, I have the whole team. I want a model. I want you to model my clothes. So mostly the designers that will start reaching you out once you make a name.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so New York, traveling back and forth is flight, it's where you stay. Even when you get there, there's like taxis or all those sorts of things. And we're planning a trip to go to New York and bring as many people as we can. You talked about model houses.
Yeah.
So how much should we realistically be saving up for a trip like that?
Oh, yeah, the New York Fashion Week, the flight and the accommodation, it's on us, because all these casting calls, like the Runway 7, I said, they even in their emails, they will say that we are not responsible for your flight, accommodation, or nothing. And in fact, sometimes they used to pay the models, but now they have a huge influx of models, and they're like, oh, this is for exposure. I mean, this is for your benefit. It adds to your profile. So they are not even paying you for the day. So coming to flight, I book really late, $400 to $600 for a flight from SF to New York. And the accommodation for 2 weeks, we usually do Airbnb, and the 4 of us split. All 4 of us are from here, from SF. We have been doing the local SF shows. How much does it cost? I forget.
I've looked up some rooms and hotels. I've been in New York before as well, and I remember spending maybe $300 a night in a hotel, but that was like on Times Square.
I can say that when I split with 4 models, per night it comes to 90 to 100, not beyond 100. So 100 into 15 days for the stay, and up to 400 to 600 for your flight. And the Uber charges, we Uber everywhere, so the Uber charges really add up to $400 Uber. From a casting to another casting, it all happens in the Manhattan area. They will be walkable, so it's, yeah, and a lot of subway, so it's train. It's mostly train and Uber. Transportation won't be that much because of the train. It's the accommodation. And the food I used to cook in my hotel, just fry something, and I cook myself. And it shouldn't be much. But you want a calculation of how much it is for 2 weeks?
I think that's a good general amount.
Based on that, you can calculate it.
Yeah, because I know I kind of made a mistake. I went out there, and I was mostly out there for fun. So I did a lot more extracurricular activities, but I got on one of those, where the people that ride the bike and you sit in the carriage, and I went from Times Square to what's the garden, the big park that's out there?
Central Park?
Central Park, right? And come to find out, it was like a 20-minute ride. It was like $150. Because I didn't realize, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is fun. We're just riding along. And they're charging you like $7 a minute. I was like, oh. We was like, okay. So just so you know, like sometimes you got to pre-think there's unexpected expenses. You're like, oh, this is fun. I just want to do it. But there was a lot of walking in New York as well. So that's good to know. Like, Ubers and everything that's going to cost you, and you're not getting paid to walk in the show. If you do, so the models that go out there, you have to be like a supermodel to get paid for these shows. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
I didn't press play.
That's okay.
So usually this is a common, I've been trained at, how many of you know Kokorosha Model Camp in New York? Has anyone done it? You follow her? So you guys know too, right? What did you say?
I went to the camp.
You went to the camp, nice. Yeah, great. So this is what I'm saying is what we have learned there, right? So there's something called Kokorosha Model Camp. Kokorosha is one of the supermodels of our generation. She has model classes going on in New York. That's where I was trained as a model, because I went to her class just like herself. Runways do not pay, even for supermodels, even if you're signed with an agency. Still, Runway is a place which doesn't pay much because and if we are talking about freelance modeling and public auditions, then there's absolutely no pay. You're just building your profile so that you can get signed to an agency and get paid work. So that's where we are. We are not yet in the agency. Even the agency models do not really get paid much in Runway. I have got paid for one of the Runway. You all know Patricia Field. She is the Sex and the City. She was the stylist of Sex and the City and many Hollywood movies. So I worked for her. I got paid $400, and that was a good pay. I mean, I would consider that a good pay for a Runway. 200 is common. Sometimes they say, we pay you 200. They call you 8 hours a day. You have to go there for makeup, hair, practice, and whole show. It's 8 hours. So if they pay 200, it's like, oh, you can say it's a paid gig, but it's the basic and most commonly encountered pay in the Runway. And 400, and I have heard some of the friends from agency get paid up to 600 to 800. That's for a day for Runway. But commercial work, people get paid up to $2,000 a day, $3,000 a day in New York. So commercial is where the money is. Runway is where the exposure is.
Awesome.
I think just
one more time.
Commercial is where the money is. Runway is where the exposure is.
That's going to be the caption of this video. Okay, so with that being said, let's take some questions from the audience. I know you guys have a lot of them, and we'll just do it by a show of hand, and we'll see how many we can get in here. Anybody have questions? Yeah, I saw your hand first.
Age requirements for New York.
Age requirements for New York.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They don't, for agency, you'll have to, I mean, when you sign up with an agency, they'll ask the age or they'll ask for documentation, and so they will know your age. But for these auditions, nobody is asking for age. If you show up there and look tall enough, walk good enough, that's it.
Yeah, Aaron.
So I know we went over this before with Chris, but what do you specifically bring to a casting? Because I know
Yeah. This, what is this? Comp card and heels. That's it. I mean, the most basic. So this is comp card. You all, Chris, you must have gone through the comp card with them?
Most of them, some of them are here for the first time today, but yeah, everybody should know what a comp card is. It's basically a business card for models, has your portrait and your measurements and your contact information.
So my comp card has my headshot here and my name, and then back I have another headshot and 2 photos from an actual runway to show that I have done runway before, which is where you have to now start building it because you need these photos in your comp card. And I have another photo here that mainly shows my body type, body shape. So in comp cards, do not try to put an outdoor photo shoot where you are not the focus. The whole focus is your body and your face in the comp card. The moment they look at it, they should know how tall you are, what's your body shape, what's your body figure. They should just know that, and what's your skin color and all of that, which is why it's not black and white. Earlier I had a black and white and they couldn't make out my skin color. So have it colored, and this is a very colorful comp card. But you guys know digitals wherein you're just wearing the clothes that you're wearing today, black fitted top and bottom. You can also put 4 digitals here instead of all these jazz. So sometimes when I provide this, they ask me, do you have a comp card full of digitals? Because they just want to see you against a white backdrop and they don't even want to see all these colors on the comp card.
So you should have 2 comp cards.
Yeah.
One that shows your diversity, yourself on the runway, especially if you're going to castings for runway shows, and a separate one just with digitals.
You're right. Yeah. I don't have it, but I carry two types. One is only digitals and one like this.
And so when you're going out there for 2 weeks and you're auditioning all these shows, how many comp cards do you bring?
I carry about 40 to 50 comp cards. Yeah. And it gets over. It's like this. You're giving, you're going, you're giving. Yeah.
Because there's more than just that casting, right? You might meet somebody on the street or at a show. Right.
This is a big size. Sometimes they go smaller size. I have to figure out because when me and my husband, we have been trying to go get these printed on a smaller size, the clarity goes bad.
Yeah, there's some actual, I've been doing research on that. There's specific websites that you can go and order like high quality comp cards. And so I can get you guys access to that information as well, and I'll send it to you.
I need it too. Yeah.
Yeah, because Walmart, Walgreens, those places, they have like photo printing, but they're not designed for like this type of material. So you have to go to more like a print shop.
My poor husband goes multiple rounds. He prints the comp card, he brings home, and then we are like, no, this is looking, the face is all gone. This is here, it's not good, not good. He goes again. He's really done a big support, for me.
Awesome.
What did you say?
Zazzle?
Is that it?
That could be one of them. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, if you can go to like a print-based website, they'll have different measurements and even different thicknesses of the paper that you print on. Yeah. Yes, question.
You had a question.
Oh, I was just going to ask, when you're in the room for the casting, do you hand each director a card? Or
No, just one.
Oh.
Go ahead.
When you first started out, I know that being a freelance model requires a lot of facilitating and networking. How did you personally initiate those connections with like designers?
Initially was very hard. They will not even see your message. First of all, the Instagram DM, it doesn't even allow you. Initially, you'll face a lot of friction, but you have to keep pursuing it. That's all. Yeah.
Gotta be persistent.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of rejection. Keep trying, putting yourself out there.
I won't. Yeah.
Follow-up question. Which piece of the puzzle would you say was more important to get first out of? You said it was like designer and the photographer and the makeup.
Good question. Photographer is easy. Somehow the access to photographer is more easier. Designer, I don't know. Some designer come with a heavy-headedness. So it's hard to, for a new model, it's hard to approach them or convince them, but more photographers are more open. So first, when you start off, I think thanks to you because you made it more specific so I can answer it better. So when you are a new model, just you and the photographer, and then start involving makeup, like you and photographer for first couple of months. You have to do your makeup, you have to get your styling, it's all on you. And then start involving the makeup artist. Again, you still don't have the designer clothes, nothing. You are just you, makeup, and the photographer. And by then, people would have noticed you, and a designer probably is willing to listen to you. That's when you start involving designer. And once you involve one designer, there is a rival designer of that designer who wants you because they get competitive between them. So that's how then you shoot off.
Yeah, we talked about that actually too before you came in, about building a team. Some of the students here have a homework assignment of building a team, and I actually told them to go the other way of getting the makeup artist and the designer involved and then reaching out to the photographer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it could go either way, right? So if you're doing your own makeup, then it's easier. Like you can just present the makeup look to the photographer. But because there's so many photographers, there's more probably photographers than there are designers, right? Everybody has a camera nowadays, so that's why they're easier to access. But also with that being said, as far as those of you guys are in my classes and going the other way around is also because you guys are intention of reaching out to more advanced and expert photographers. So a lot of photographers that have been in the industry for a while, they're booked and busy regularly. They prefer you come to them with already a package or something said and done, and then all they have to do is show up and shoot it. At least that I do, and the photographers I've worked with, they prefer you come with an idea and a plan at the minimum. But you could do your own makeup, like she was saying, like sometimes you gotta take care of everything yourself, but as long as the concept, the theme, the idea is there, and you're presenting it to them that way, it makes the photographer realize that you put effort into this and you're not just asking for free photos.
Yeah, that's true. When I said you go to photographer, when you go to them, you should already have in mind that this is my makeup look, this is my clothing. How you come up with that clothing, it's up to you. Probably you are too new, no designer is responding to you, so then you have to do your styling. Or there are stylists also. There are in SF, there is this Academy of Arts. There are many students there who are into styling, and you can approach them. So it will be a student level of styling, but it's okay. Even you are beginning, even they are beginning. So build this team so that your photographer feels confident in you. Yeah, you cannot just show up at the photographer. What is he going to photograph, right? He wants some content, something going on. It's on the model. In the freelancing world, the whole stress is on the model. That's what I've been doing. No choice.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
For casting, like how or what would be like the best way to have your hair, like tied up?
Yeah.
How should you have your hair during castings?
Yeah, natural. Like, you have curled, right? Keep it natural. No, not straight or curled, like just hair washed and natural. And sometimes they like it pulled back so that they can see your chin and the jawline. And sometimes leaving it is also good. But I think, as I remember, I put high pony like this when I go to casting so that my face is visible. And even the length is seen. Because if you make it into a bun, then they don't know how long your hair is. And even they notice all that. Some designers, they are like very specific. We want long hair, we want short hair. So high pony is good.
Yes.
For your modeling career, how did you define success and what did you do to move the needle on that?
Oh, success, that's a very deep question. I still don't feel that I'm at the success level of a model. I would probably feel that once I get booked for a really high brand. I don't want to say the names, I don't have the guts to say the names, but like really high brands, like as big as MK, let's say. Until then, I would not think that I am a successful model. but I know that I'm on the path towards the success.
Yes.
All right. I know we're like way over time. This is so interesting, right? I like doing this. You guys having a good time with this conversation? Yes. All right. So we'll try to do more events like this where we can sit down with the expert and get questions answered. And you guys can always ask questions after we get ready to go here too. So I know we want to do a little bit more walking. She wants some stuff for her content. If you guys have to go, you can. I just wanted to say in regards to that as well, that is rare but possible to just simply be scouted. Like, you never know when you're out and about somewhere, especially if you're in a high fashion city like LA or New York or Texas, Atlanta, like more places that are more fashion focused. The possibility of you just being found is there. We don't see it as much here, I feel like, but we do. Me and Fatima have been doing research, and there's probably a handful of people that we know personally that have been just out and about. And next thing you know, they're walking for some major brand, literally getting a statue made for them and shooting with Dior. Like, we've been reaching out because ModelCon is coming up October 19th. That's the plan. And we're looking for more guest speakers to come out to that. So if you're not familiar, ModelCon is a huge event. We bring out agencies, we bring out model guest speakers, photographers, and we have some entertainment value there too. We got a few things. We're actually going to be having a team meeting after this to discuss. So high value information to be discovered there. And through that research, we found models that like, oh, this guy or this girl would be perfect to come out. And then we get on the phone, like, yeah, what's your story? He's like, you know, I just look good and somebody found me. Cool. I can't have you sit on stage saying that. Like, never mind. But so it does happen. But sometimes you literally just, if this is like your life goal and career that you want, you're serious about it, sometimes you literally just have to move.
You have to move. Yeah, what he's saying, this may not happen in SF or not, definitely not in San Jose or places like that, because nobody is looking for a model in the first place. But in New York, all you see is some designer that's sitting in a cafe and he's actually scouting. You never know if you end up in that cafe and if you fit the bill, if you end up being what he's looking for, his vision, if you fit his vision, there is immediately they will approach and things just get rolling. But for that to happen, you should be in the right place and also in the right city. As many times I feel slightly depressed that I feel that I'm somewhere. I have to be somewhere else, but I'm somewhere else. I have that feeling all the time.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. And
thank you.
So if you have to go, you can go, but we're going to do another walk and then on with your day. This is not for those who are modeling for fun or just want to look cute on Instagram. If you haven't heard already, Model Society is the #1 training program in Northern California for aspiring models. Model Society is a 90-day training program and a year-long membership. If you want to learn how to pose, walk, get signed to an agency, build your portfolio and your self-confidence, then Model Society is an exclusive group of members-only classes. We teach you hands-on everything you need to know about modeling, whether you're just getting started or you're looking to take your career more seriously and to the next level. Registration is almost closed and we only have 3 more spots left. Look back at your portfolio this past year. If it's not where you want it to be, then click the link in our bio and join Model Society today.